And we're live. All right, YouTube. How you doing, YouTube? This your boy Kind Buffalo. This is the Trichome Chaser Grow Live Stream, episode 52. Today, we're going to come to you with cloning techniques. You know, we got what makes it a keeper. We're going to talk about, pretty much the overall process of cloning from beginning to end. You know, we're going to talk about how you cut it, you know, what techniques you use. Oh shit! Let me mute that. You know, what techniques you use as far as like what do you use? Rooting powder? Do you use aloe vera? Rooting gels? We're going to talk about all that today. Today on today's panel, we got. Let me see who all we got on the panel today. I see my man Nuevo Purple, Northside Doja, Loki Grow. We got Daniel Dirty D, and we got Captain Kind Bud. We had somebody else on. I don't know what happened to him. Maybe he lagged off. Maybe he'll be back later. So right now, let's start with Northside. Northside, hey man, how you doing today? How your garden doing?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Everything's going good in the garden. Hopefully it'll be flowering here next Monday in 2 days. And yeah, everything's going pretty well, man, over here.
All right, and Mr. Purple, what are you doing today, man? How your garden doing, Purple?
Dude, I'm trying to take a dab over here. Why you got to come talk to me? Just kidding.
I always picking, right? That's what's up. You taking yours down, huh?
Yeah, doing good though, bro. Just got chilling. Fucking was wrapping up a few last minute projects for school. It was like the last week of the semester. Came back from the Emerald Cup last week. Got some nice goodies out there, a bunch of seeds and some clones and shit, which are doing good. A little concern. I got this Khalifa Kush. I should have got 2 Khalifa Kushes because, of course, I had a feeling. You never know what might happen on the long journey, but it's all right. But it almost seems like a little humidity shock or something. You kind of got a little bit of that like necrosis on the leaves, kind of like curling up and like dying on some of the sun leaves. So a little concerning, but hopefully it'll make it through. But other than that, doing good. I'm in about like week 3, week 4 of flowering. Got some Bewitch, some Ninja Fruit, some Extreme OG, and a bunch of glue, and some Bubba Kush in the flower room. So looking forward to finishing up this round, hopefully early January. Still been trimming. I've basically just kind of given up, and I just been throwing stuff in buckets and in Tupperwares to handle when I can. But yeah, everything's doing all right, man. Fucking little hectic. Been accumulating a lot of strains and stuff like that. So the bedroom's looking a bit crazy, but yeah, looking forward to new shit. Yep.
That's what's up. So you said you went to the Emerald Cup, man. How was that? What the Emerald Cup, man? How was that?
Dude, it was crazy as fuck, bro. Honestly, it was a bit overwhelming. I've never been to a cup, let alone the Emerald Cup, and this year was like the biggest year ever. I was reading an article saying that it just makes sense thinking about it that like millions of dollars were changing hands at that event. But yeah, it was a good time, man. Fucking a lot of shit going on. There was like hundreds upon hundreds, maybe thousands of vendors. Hundreds, thousands of packs of weed. Fucking plants everywhere, seeds everywhere. It was a good time, man. It was a little bit overwhelming, but like I said, I definitely enjoyed it and look forward to the next event to hopefully kick it with some homies. I saw Tricky D and Photon there. We kicked it a bit. Didn't really get a chance to kick it as much as I would like to kick it with homies. Palm Side was there too. He showed much love and shit, which was cool. That dude's hella cool. But yeah, next time, I had a friend with me and he was kind of acting a little bitch made and shit. So we ended up leaving early on Sunday. But yeah, next time, man, I'm ready.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I'm glad you got a chance to go.
Yeah.
So what man? What kind of packs did you cop?
You want me to go through the list real quick?
I mean, just a short brief. Yeah. What's the hot flavors you?
So in terms of clones, I got the Skywalker OG, supposed Skywalker. We'll see when we grow all these out, you know. So I got Skywalker, I got an SFE, I got a Khalifa Kush, Kosher Dog, West Coast Sour D, Doc's Black Triangle. What else did I get? I got a Grape Ape, some Fire OG, Blackberry Kush times Fire OG. I think those are all the clones. I think I got a Strawberry Diesel in clone form. And then in terms of seeds, I kind of missed out. I was late the first day, so I missed the drop on the grape gas and the jet fuel gelatos from Compound. The dude right in front of me bought the last fucking pack of jet fuels. Almost had to kick his ass. But I got some Banana OG times GMO TK skunk from Swamp Boys called Banana Pudding Tan.
Shit.
Yeah, I got some raspberry gelato from Hot Genetic. Acai gelato times the raspberry dosi. We got more Sea Junkies gear. We got the Hi-Fi, the White Fire times the High Octane BX3. We got a little bit of some CSI Humble gear because I've definitely wanted to fuck around with their shit. We got some Canorado gear, the White Octane OG. We got the Suit and Tie, which is a Great Pie Cross to the Flow White. Yeah, that's about it. Got a few other things, but
how the hell did you carry
arsenal over there?
What's up?
I said, how'd you carry all that?
The seeds obviously were easy, you know. I just threw them in the bag, but the cuts accumulated over the 2 days. So like the first day, I had one of the nurseries actually was down and held my cuts for me for most of the days, and I just came at the end of the day and got them.
That's cool.
Well, and then a couple others I had to just carry around, so I was just carrying around these cuts all day. But yeah, I was surprised. I figured, fuck, something was gonna die, and mistreated them, you know, the whole weekend. I didn't think about it like, how am I gonna, you know, keep these around and shit. So they kind of got a little mistreated through the weekend, but then got them in a box and shipped out Monday, and got them a couple days ago, and they're fine. So,
Oh yeah.
Fortunately.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of heat.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see when I run all of them through. Hopefully they're all what they say they are.
That's what's up, man. Sound like you did pretty good, man. That's what's up. Loki Grow in the house. Loki, what's going on, baby? How your garden doing? I see you got a new light.
Yeah, man. I'm actually finished setting up everything. All my lights are set up. Everything is done. I'm just trying to get my perpetual motion in. I got I actually threw a YouTube video up today, so it got pretty much everything I did today shot up. Nothing else. Just chilling. I'm actually driving right now, so I'm a little distracted. Trying not to drive and text and talk.
That's what's up, man. So how that garden going on, man? Which I hear you doing a mono crop, man. You said that's like the first time you did one, man. How that garden?
Yeah, I've always had some kind of different strain in the room. It's the first time I've just put one strain in one room and just said, no, nothing else is coming in here. So I'm going to do a 8-plant run with the banana punch underneath the chilled LEDs. I just got 2 chilled LED strip 400-watt lights. Yeah, I'm going to run that. I got some Bruce Banner in the back with some Pennywise. I got a bunch of shit going on. I finally got some cuts in. My shit's starting to look like something.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. It's always a joy watching what you do, man. Always a joy. So on the list, we got my man Daniel Dirty D. What's up, Dan? How you doing, baby? What's going on with you?
Man, I've been chilling, man. Enjoying this the cold temps, but at the same time, really not, because I'm not at the same place no more. So I gotta, I guess, deal with the environment. You know, I'm learning it though, and I think I got moisture on the outside of my tent, so I think I'm good now because my temperatures are at 68 now at night when it's like 42, 30 degrees outside, and in the afternoon I'm at like
What size tent you rocking, man?
2x4. Same thing.
All right. This is what
I
I
got
want
the
you to do,
bill
man. If you
going.
can't do it, man,
Yeah, I got the
this is what I want you to do, brother. If you can't do it, just let me know, man, and I'll take care of it. I found on Amazon. I have this
Yeah.
little. I think Loki even had one, but it didn't work for Loki because I think that he was doing everything he was supposed to do, but I think his space was just too big for the system that he had. They got these little mini dehumidifiers. Now I
Yeah.
got one hanging up in my flower tent, my 4x4. And I'm gonna tell you right now, man, it took my humidity down from 60 to like 47, 50, man. So, check it out on Amazon, brother. If you can't, if you can't get it, man, just holler at me, man. So we do something because that
Yeah.
definitely helps the humidity out.
What it was like at like 52 degrees, 42 degrees inside the tent. So I didn't want that. I'm still in veg. I'm not fucking around yet with anything until I fill out the net.
Go
So
get
that's
you
how
a
high-
bucket of
so
damn
now
bread,
I'm back.
Daniel.
Did I hear you wrong and say that your humidity was up to like 90?
No, my temps were at 50 in my tent.
50.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm getting there now because I seen the moisture outside of my tent. So
We can solve that too, man. We'll get you a little heater, man, to blow in there,
yeah,
man. Different
but
ways, man, to get it's cold like this.
yeah, hell yeah, for sure. I was just gonna throw HPS in that motherfucker and just
Yeah, and another little tip I want to give tips. Try to do away from top feeding. Like you have your plant sitting in a tray or a catch tray.
yeah.
Okay, so what I've learned
Okay, go ahead.
when your temperature's cold like that, your water's probably going to be colder too. What I have learned, garden did better when I had cold temps if I watered from the bottom.
All right, that makes sense
All
because
right.
the soil leach it up before you hit the roots, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just a little info, man, to help you out.
Yeah, hell yeah,
Help you
makes
out.
sense. I was thinking about that too. I was like, yeah, because I was also, I think I was asking you about like sitting on concrete besides sitting on wood or sitting on some kind of platform. Would that be
Yep.
an issue towards
That'll
your
help
soil,
too, man.
cocoa or rock wool, all that shit? Like maybe that'd be a
Your
next
plants
topic.
would create a barrier between the ground, bottom of your tent, and that would help too. That would help.
Yeah.
Well, all right, man. But yeah, man, that's good, man. I'm glad to see that like I said, it's a learning experience from us all, from
Yeah,
the
yeah.
experienced people that we have on the team. Learn experience, but that's why we all here to help each other out, brother.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, like I learned everything from y'all guys. But yeah,
Right,
bro.
man. I'm gonna slide on down here to my man, the Captain Kind Bud. How you doing, brother? What you got going on?
What up, big bro? Hey, can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, man, I'm doing good. I've had a great week this week. It's been a great week. I still only have my little Candy Kush growing in the 3x3. She's doing great. She's got less than 3 weeks left. She pulled a sick move this week and turned the heads all just completely purple and the undersides are pink. Pretty badass. I'm thinking it's probably because of those LEDs. But yeah, man, it's looking pretty pimp. I'm excited about the future. I do have some great genetics coming too. So I'm excited about that. So the next run, I really can't decide, but there's, I've got some things coming up. So I'm pretty pumped on the future as well. But I did some work on a YouTube video, but it's not going to be out probably till tomorrow. And yeah, man, things are just great with me. Just happy to be here.
That's what's up,
Hell
Cap.
yeah. I love Cap. He's always so positive.
Hell yeah.
All right, so now next, but not new to the team, we got my man Green Motor Farms. You know, my man. Hey, this is a really good dude, man. So you know, if you guys want to learn some things, man, you know, really listen to what he got to say. Really cool cat. Glad to have met him. Green Motor, man, what you got rocking over there in your garden, baby? How you doing today?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, baby.
Yeah, man. I just cut down the third trial run of my pheno hunt for garlic breath and Puda breath. Literally just got done cutting it down earlier today, and all of it's fire. You can check out my Instagram if you guys want to see the pictures of it. And yeah, just getting everything in rotation in all of the rooms.
Dope. Yeah.
That's what's up.
You want to tell some people about your garden? Like how big is it? What type of medium you're running and stuff like that?
I manage three gardens. The one of them is 16 by 20, and that's got 8 phenoms, mini split, trellis netted, 2 rows. And then the other one is a 9 light room that is 20 by 20. That's got 5 tons of AC in it. And then I manage a warehouse where we have a 16 light flower room split up into 2. One 4,000 watt room for transitional veg, and then 2 clone rooms. So everything's green, everything's good. We grow in, depending on the location, but normally 5-gallon fabric pots and Pro Mix. I just switched over to CC because I like the drainage rates a little bit better with the Pro Mix. We run Emerald Harvest nutrients in all of our lines at all of our locations. Gets really good terpenes, good yield. Same kind of formula as advanced nutrients, but half the cost. Yeah, that's about it.
Dope.
You
So what is the
know,
way that
I'm glad you talked about your rooms because you spoke about cloning, which you know this is this is the topic of the night is cloning. So since you talked about having 2 cloning rooms, this would be a great lead in to our topic. So I want to start it off, and I want to start it off with you, Green Motor, and I want to start with what when you're growing and you're starting to flower, or before you flower in your veg and you decide to take clones. After you take your clones, what constitutes to you as a keeper phenome, something that you want to keep to have, and if not for just one more run or a couple runs, a stable, you know, something that's always going to be in a stable. What is it about that phenome that makes you say it's a keeper?
It's honestly my own personal growing style. I don't like to tweak what I do with plants. I pretty much do a variety of things, but very similar to the plant. So if it doesn't respond well to it, then it's obviously going to have different work done. So it's going to be not time efficient to actually grow that particular one. So, I go through and I top. That's where I take my clones that are all from the tops. And if it doesn't respond well to the topping, then that's something that I look at pre-veg. When it goes into flower, essentially I'm looking for the weight, obviously the yield, the terpenes, stuff like that. And that's why when GMO was crossed to the Mendo breath, we picked up 11 packs of them, did 100, seed plant run of it. And through that, when you have that many plants, you see several different variations where you can kind of pick it. So I was lucky to have that opportunity to see that many different variations. But in particular, I'm looking for the frostiest one that's going to put out a decent amount of weight, and then you got to watch out for the Hermes. But essentially, when it comes to picking the correct pheno, it's personal preference, and especially your growing situation, because I don't want to have to alter the way that I grow to bring in a new genetic in just because it's new and it's good.
Wow, this is exactly the way I feel, bro.
Yeah, my bad, man. I had muted my mic. Okay, so you take what you said from what I gather, what you said, you take all from the tops, which is good. I think mostly everybody try to take at least tops from clones when we're doing clones or cuttings. When you flower, so when you flower out, after you take your clones and you flower out, when you start your flower and in the flower, is there, like, for instance, I've got purple punch. I've only had I think I've cloned it plenty of times because I've given some to them, given some to the team, and I've given some to other people. But if it was something like, let's say, for instance, let's say I ran a pack of 10 of purple punch, and I label them all phenom 1 through 10, and I'm pretty sure you do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say after you flower out, and then you find out that only 2 of them is really what the ones that you want, do you cut down the rest, or do you keep the rest and then flower them out later? But only after that do you keep the top, your 2 best or your 1 best.
So the question is,
if that made any sense to you.
Hold on. So the question is, if I crack 10 seeds and 2 of them I know are my keepers, am I going to flower out the rest of the 8, or am I going to kill them? Is that the question?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I'm killing them. On to the next. I ain't got time or room.
I feel you, man. I feel you. Me, I'm the type of guy, man. I hate throwing away anything, man. So I'll keep them all, but I'll flower them all out, but I'll only rerun the one or the top, the 1 or 2, because I try to keep like 2 of the top best, and them the only ones that I will rerun again. I just hate throwing shit away, so I usually keep everything, flower the rest of them out. But I do understand what you're saying. With what you're doing, you're right. You don't have time to go through the rest of that crap, so it'd be better just to keep that 1 or that 2. Is
right.
it sometimes is it more than 1, or is it more than 1 sometimes?
It's always more than 1, because honestly, when you crack a seed for the first time, you're not going to see the true genetic potential or the solidification of it that first run. You got to, clone it, grow it, clone it, grow it. That third time you grow it is what that plant's going to be. I can tell you that from experience on multiple different plants. When I first cracked the genetics cookies and cream, where I found my number 7. All right, that cookies and cream was a complete frost machine, but just barely grew, and it wanted to stack. It wanted to grow on top of each other. I wanted to stack, but it was super, super frosty. So I was thinking about growing it, putting it off to the side just for extraction purposes. Right. I grew it again. Okay, this time I put it in a bigger pot, and I grew it out because it was a mom, is what it was. So I flowered out the mom after I took clones from it. And this thing completely was different. Like, it was a completely different plant. The same thing with the garlic breast. If you look at the pictures on my Instagram when I first cracked them, the first run I did with them, the 17 is like one gigantic forearm bud. But through the second and third process of cloning and growing off of that plant to make it a 3rd generation clone, that is where the plant starts to become exactly what you're seeing now, and it will not alter from that. But the beginning stages of it, you can never really go off of. So yeah, there's always more than 1, and that's why it's a process, because you honestly could call something that you don't want, and you really don't know what you actually got rid of. So you really got to think about your time and your space and what ones stand out to you right away, and then kind of roll the dice and continue with those until you actually come down to 1.
Right. No, that makes sense, man. That really makes a lot of sense.
Hell yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. So let's go with my man Perp. You want to put any input on a cloning technique that you use? You know what? Hey, Perp, hold that thought, Perp, real quick. Hold that. One more question for you, Green Motor. I forgot to ask you, and I'm sorry. I apologize about this. Technique-wise, rooting gel, rooting powders, aloe. You don't have to share, but if you want to, if you want to share, like, maybe not give up all your secrets, but just a little telltale of how you do. As far as, like, do you use a rooting powder or rooting gel? As your clone, as it's growing, or after you've used your rooting powder or rooting gel, do you add, is it just water? Do you, humidity dome, anything like that?
Yeah, man. No, actually, so I'll go into detail about this because this was something that I've tweaked over the years, got it to down now to where it's fail proof. You know, I use a product called Monster Clone. You guys can look them up on IG at Monster Clone. What it is it's a 3-inch puck, essentially like a root riot made out of the same material. It's about 3 inches deep, about 2 inches in diameter, and it gives you the ability to take a longer cut. So when you put it into a root riot, you only have about 1.5 inches worth of stem that can actually produce the root. When you put it in a monster clone, at about 3 inches, you can put it in deep. Now, the fact that it's so much bigger, it also maintains heat and keeps that stalk warm. So what I do is when I take my cut, all right, I put them in the dome. I put them, you know, just nothing but water from the top, get everything saturated. I do not soak them. All right. Some people swear by soaking them. I don't see a purpose for it. Okay. So I use Root Tech rooting gel. It works much better than Clone X. It's probably about 3 times stronger if you look at the ingredients compared to the two. So when I run that with the Root Tech, I use my Monster Clones, straight RO water. I don't even pH the water. Right over the top of them, throw the dome on with a little bit of heating mat. From that, I'll keep them at about 100% humidity or as much close as that as I can for about 3 days. And then I will open up that vent about halfway. Okay. On that 4th day, once they kind of adapted to the environment, I completely take the dome off. It shocks them. So when they go from, you know, 70, 75% humidity to 40%, they go into survival mode because they don't have roots yet. So it shocks them. Right. Now you may have some that dry out if you don't have enough leaf material at the clone. So you might have some that dry out, so they might not all make it, but it promotes them to go into survival and shoot out roots. Okay. And once that happens, I'll put in a small mixture into the bottom of the tray of fossil fuel, great white mycorrhizae, kelp, and mammoth pea. I'll put that into the bottom of the tray, and then the following day, so this would be about day 6, I do a foiler spray, through my whole veg, and I also hit the clone tray. But I do a foiler spray that's a combination of CalMag, Power Sty, Super Thrive, Nitrozyme, fossil fuel, and mammoth pea as well. And from that right there, literally in 8 days, you'll see roots. And in 14, you will have a plant that can be transplanted. And it's not a clone at that point. It's like a plant. The root system's huge on it. And you can transplant it into your finishing pot. You can completely bypass 1 gallons, 2 gallons, 3 gallons, that you can put it into a pot up to a 10-gallon from a clone. And the root system will go nuts because it's already an established plant. It's not just, 5, 6, 7 roots. It's an actual structure of root.
Right.
So I like to, pretty much water in the beginning, microbial inoculant right in the middle, and then with the foiler spray, move some of the immobile nutrients right to where they need it, and they go crazy.
You're the first one I heard to use a foiler spray in cloning, man. Everybody always tells me don't spray them; it promotes mold or anything like that. But you're the first one that I've actually heard admit that foiler spray actually does your cloning good.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back downstairs. I'm going to grab some of the clones that I took down there. I'll pop my camera on so you can see my root masses on it. And these are, I have one that's about 8 days, and I have another one that's about 13 or 14 days. So I'll show you those guys in a second.
Okay. Cool. My man Perp, how you doing, Perp? Your cloning technique, brother. You want to chime in a little bit on your cloning technique?
Yeah, I guess I could tell you guys it's not really that complicated. Pretty simple, man. Yeah, it's pretty standard, I would think. A lot of people do the same technique that I pretty much use, which is either I soak my medium made Rockwool or my Rapid Rooters or my Jiffy Pucks, whatever. I usually use Rockwool, but it depends on what time of year I feel like. Sometimes I like using the Jiffy Pucks. Depending on what time of year, I feel like I don't know, they dry out less And so like
Right.
just depending, like maybe in the winter time and stuff like that, it's easier to use. But yeah, I usually just do like a soak in like a 300 to 500 ppm solution of nutrients. Yeah, I try to take healthy cuts from the tops, you know, to have healthy hormone levels, I guess. And yeah, I just, you know, do the standard cut at 45. Try to maybe, sometimes I'll do a little bit of scrape to expose some of that quote unquote cambium layer, or I'll cut down the middle sometimes. But yeah, I usually just do a light scrape to expose a little bit more of the cambium layer after I do the little 45. Throw it in some whatever hormone. I usually use Clonex. That's a good tip, though, from Green Motor. I never knew that the Root Tech, the indole 3 butyric acid concentrations are higher or whatever. That'd be good to know. I'm the type of dude to always look at the concentration or percentage in a product to determine, you know, what's your best bang for your buck. So that's always good to know. I'm getting a little complacent, I guess. But yeah, so I just use the indole 3 butyric acid, dip my cuts in that, and that's about it. You know, throw them in a humidity dome. I usually don't spray the dome, but I might spray the bottoms, you know, just to keep them. I don't know. It's a fine line, you know. You don't want them wet, but you don't want them dry either. So I usually leave them for like a few days, maybe up to almost a week before I have to spray them, really. But I'll just come in, you know, and every day exchange the air out and make sure they're all good. You know, try to keep them at a good temperature. But that's pretty much standard.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. You're right, though. What he said about that, I didn't think about that neither. But about looking for the ones that have the higher, you know, the higher concentrated that you need for cloning. I didn't think about that. But yeah, that was a good one. That's good. You pretty much do it basically the way I do mine. So
yeah, I think it's just always a fine line, you know, like just with heat and moisture levels. You know, that's always been my biggest thing, is keeping it just that right level of moisture, or like right level of moisture in the dome and in the medium, in the plugs themselves, as well as, you know, keeping that a solid temperature, you know, like 80 degrees or whatever. But yeah, look at Green Motor shit. His fucking roots are back, dude.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Man, that's nice.
I just went and grabbed it though.
No, that's nice.
So yeah, that's about
like
13 days.
Now, I usually have that type of success after with rapid rooters. With rock wool, dude, I'm surprised. Like, I got Loki some cuts right now, and they rooted out, and I was surprised that the roots actually came through, because I usually have terrible luck with rock wool. But I do use rapid rooters, which I usually have better luck in with rapid rooters.
Yep. So imagine the rapid rooter 5 times bigger. So that much more of your clone can actually produce the root itself. So instead of, you know, to make it just easy numbers, instead of having 5 locations that the roots are going to spit out of the stem, you have 500. Right?
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
So instead of 5 roots going at one time, you have 500 roots going at one time. So the inside of that, you know, inside of that monster clone, by the time you see roots on the outside, there is so much roots going on the inside of that thing because of how big it is. And there's a couple tips and tricks that you can use to increase the root mass on these things before you transplant them. But I mean, we can go into that later.
Okay. Yeah, let's see what Northside got to say about how he does his cloning techniques. Northside, you want to put in on this, brother?
Yeah, man. Mine's a pretty simple technique too. I clone in the 1.5-inch Rockwool cubes, and then I just throw them into 6-inch block after they root. But I just throw my and I get the ones that are individually wrapped too, and then so I just throw the whole pack right into my reservoir. Because I got a pretty big res, so it doesn't really fluctuate the pH that much. I let them just soak in there, get full nutrients. I don't like dilute nutrients or anything. I give them the same nutrients that the plants are getting that I'm taking them from. And yeah, just take off the tops, you know, cut it at 45. Then I use Clonex, and I stick the clones into the Rockwell cubes, but not in the hole, just like straight into. I think it holds it better. And then what I got is like a dome. I got like a Rubbermaid tote that's like bigger than a dome, you know, and it's got a seal around the lid. And so for the first couple days, I just keep them in there, you know, with the high humidity, and then so I can see water, you know, still on the sides. Because, you know, at first I don't spray them or anything, but there's enough moisture from those soaked cubes that it gets humid in there. And then I'll start, you know, laying the lid a little crooked to let more and more air in as they go. And as far as like foliar spraying them, I don't do any of that, you know, really at all with them. But what I do is I use House and Garden nutrients, and they got a product called Magic Green, and I spray that on the plants that I'm going to take the clones from 24 hours before I'm actually going to take the cuts, because it's got a paraffin wax in it that lasts for at the most up to 72 hours on the clones. And it also has like nutrients and stuff in there for them. And so then when I take them, you know, in the beginning, they don't droop. Sometimes you take clones and then like the first like day or two, the leaves all droop down and stuff. And this kind of prevents that. And then, yeah, then I just leave them in those totes. And the lights I got them under, I just put them under T5s. And yeah, and I get roots, you know, 2 weeks or so, 10 days sometimes. And then yeah, that's how I do it. Oh, I don't cut the leaves either. I just leave. I don't cut the tips either. I just leave them whole.
Okay. All right. Because I know that's a technique that a lot of people use. They cut the leaves. You know, yeah, but I do know I've heard a lot of people that don't. Yeah, that's what's up. All right. Well, let's move on down the list here. We got my man Loki and Loki Grove sitting over here. Loki, you want to chime in, brother, on your techniques, man?
Man, y'all really want my techniques on cloning? I've been killing every clone possible. That shit, man.
Well, go ahead, man. Go ahead and give your technique. Maybe somebody can help you out.
Let me tell you what it is. I never had a problem with cloning before. The more I focus on cloning, the worse I do. I could pop 100 seeds, and I'm gonna get 100 seeds to grow. If I go put 100 clones right now, I'll probably get 2. I don't know what's going on. My humidity is super low. It's like dry as shit. So I know that's the issue. I'm just not really too concerned about it.
Yeah. So have you ever used the humidity domes to try to maybe
I've used the domes, I've used the bubble buckets, I've used DWC, I've used Rockwool, I've used Rapid Rooters. I will tell you what my best success has been with the Rapid Rooters or the DWC. Rockwool, if you don't know how the water level that you need to be in Rockwool, you over soak it or you don't like shake it out a little bit, you should get waterlogged and rot out your stem. So I've had better success with the Rapid Rooters. And I really like the idea of the monster clones because they're just giant Rapid Rooters. I'm gonna get me some of those.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna look them guys up and get some.
My Uber just pulled up, man. Hold on.
Definitely gonna do that. Hey, Green Horns, before I go, I'm ready to go ahead and chime you in on. That's good, man. So you be the guy I need to contact when I need something.
Yep, absolutely. You can DM me on Instagram.
All right. So let me ask you another question about the monster root. Are those like the Rapid Rooters? Are they that type of material, or is it like a Jiffy Putt?
No, it's more like a Rapid Rooter or a Root Riot.
And the reason why I'm asking is because I do DWC. I know Loki does DWCs, and we use our Rapid Rooters, our Riot Rooters. We use those in our DWCs along with our Rockwool. So I wanted to make sure if I do that I will still have it, that it, over a period of time, yeah, it might, by the time you finish flowering, it'll probably break down, but it definitely holds. I haven't had any issues out of using it in my DWC. So I was just wondering that if I got those, how would they hold up in a DWC?
I know people that do use it in DWC, but I know that they had to tweak it a little bit So I'd have to get that tech and get back to you on that.
Okay, great. But I'm still going to grab some. I think I'm going to hit you up on IG. So everybody in the chat, so this product, look up Green Motor on IG, man. Look him up. That's, hey, the brother out here, he helping us out with the knowledge, and and he got a product that might help some of you guys out, especially some of you new guys, because it seems to me those right there would be perfect for somebody just starting out new. Would be perfect with somebody that's starting out new in cloning.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I like the idea of them, like you said, because like you're saying, Green Motor, like more surface area. You're getting more surface area, to the stem exposed to more surface area of your medium, which promotes more root growth. So that's what's up. That's the reason I like to use the Jiffy pucks sometimes, or like the larger Jiffy pucks even, is because you can kind of like stretch them out a bit. You know what I mean? And they're like can be a little bit longer than the normal.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on down the list here. We got my man Daniel Dirty D. Daniel, now I know I seen you in the chat and you were asking questions before about cloning and everything, but brother, whatever knowledge you picked up from the guys that was helping you in the chat, man, I seen the clones and the roots coming out the bottom of them solo cups. Want to go ahead and give us a little info on how you do now? Oh, Mr. Daniel Dirty D. He might be busy. Daniel, that brother right there is a full-time man. He full-time house, full-time work, full-time garden. He be on it. So we'll skip him right now. We're going to my man Captain Kind Bud. What you got for us, brother?
All right, yeah, let's go through mine. All right, so I start off by prepping some fresh water, chlorinated or distilled, and I'll take a slice of my aloe vera plant, usually about 6 cups of water, depending on how many I'm going to cut. But recently I've got such a small garden, I only use 1 cup of water, and I'll take about 1-inch chunk of aloe vera and bust it up in there and take all the inside of the aloe, drop it in the water, mix it up nicely. Take my cuts, let them sit in there for 24 hours. Once they've spent the 24 hours in there, then I'll move to the rock wool, and before I do that, I'll take another slice of my aloe and jam the stems in there so I get a nice thick layer of that, nice thick viscosity of aloe on there. And then once I do that, I'll sprinkle some root powder on there. Currently, I'm using the Hormex. I'm finding it's pretty good. Then I'll take that, stab it in there. I pre-soak my rock wool with, I use a seaweed extract, humic acid, and enzymes. So also I also put azos in there as well. So basically by the time roots do pop out, they'll have that vigor by making contact with all that. And then I like to, previous to cutting clones, I will do a spray 24 hours previous to cutting the clones of the mother plant with a fulvic for foliar, but I like to also water in previous to cutting the clones 20 minutes before with a humic. So the foliar is fulvic, seaweed extract, and for nectar for the gods, I use their grow, which is Medusa's magic. And it seems to give enough load that it has enough nutrients to carry through until that 2-week mark before you do transplant them. So once they are in the cubes, I will water them after day 7 with another load of humic acid and seaweed extract, enzymes, and then also a little bit of the grow. And then they seem to take off after that point. So I'll have pretty good roots after 10 days. Nothing like I've seen on those monster clones. So I'm pretty impressed with those. But yeah, I'd say within 2 weeks, I'm planting them after that. So it's a combination of things that brings it to a good level, though.
Okay, that's what's up, man. That sounds. You know what? Aloe vera. I've heard really good things from aloe vera. They say it may take a little bit longer for it to root, but I've heard some great success stories from it, though. Almost 100%. But using aloe vera, I've heard
it's got good preventative properties to it. It also carries salicylic acid, so the salicylic acid will help in rooting. but it has good shock preventative hormones in there. So you're going to get a nice, clean, healthy clone every time using some aloe. I used to use root dip until I found the aloe. I'm going to give a shout out to, I think it's Minnesota Nice. He was hanging out with the guys from Mendo Dope, and I seen that. And ever since I switched to that, I've had 100% ratio. And, you know, with the sprays, I like to do the humic in the soil and the fulvic and the foliar because it creates a like a magnetism in the plant. So when you make that cut, you're having that juice that's inside that stem rushing up into the top parts of the plant. So you get a nice full load of the plant's vital nutrients and sugars.
Yeah, yeah. That's good, man. That's good. Real quick, Captain, they want to know if you could turn your mic up a little bit. I pretty much turned you up as far as it would go.
Oh, I apologize.
Here,
Is that better?
but yeah, but just oh man, yeah, that's real better. Now I got to turn you down. It's all good.
All right, sorry about that.
But you're fine, brother.
Okay,
so but they heard you. But so yeah,
okay.
I've used techniques from, man, just like I said, with me just started. My first time cloning, I killed every clone I took, man. Every cut I took, dude. I mean, I demolished everyone. I was following like books and, you know, listening to people and their techniques. And what I really had to do was I just really had to stop trying to be like everybody else and just try it. You know, just grab either a rooting gel, aloe vera, or whatever it was that I wanted to try. I had to grab it first and just stick with that until I was able to be successful with it before I moved on to a different style of cloning. I have a book that I got.
You don't want to be like your boy.
I want to be like which one? Which one?
All your
Yeah, I got a couple of them. You know, there was one, we ain't gonna mention his name. You know, I tried to mimic him, and that didn't do nothing but give me herms and all kind of shit. So, that motherfucker. But yeah, man, it was for me. I'm very methodical about how I do shit sometimes, man, and I just had to sit back and just, you see people having success, so you want to be, you know, it's human nature to try to be just like other people when they're being successful with something. So I tried that and it didn't work for me. That's one thing that I could pass on to anybody newer at growing than I am, is that stop trying to be like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? You can take information from a lot of different people and then come up with your own. But the thing about it is to find something first that you want to try and master that first before you go on to something else. That's pretty much what I could give them. So I started with rock wool, didn't have much success with rock wool. Switched over to rapid rooters. The whole cloning experience took off once I switched over to rapid rooters. I was up to in the 90th percentile of my cuts. You know, I mean, I would lose one. If I took 10, I would lose one. You know, one cut out of 10 using rapid rooters. If I did that in rock wool, shit, dude, I might have 3 out of 10 that might have made it. I don't know what I was doing because I was doing everything the same. I did rock wool the same way as I did rapid rooters. I've just had better success with rapid rooters. Then I got into just cloning straight into cocoa. Get my little solo cup of cocoa, put my rooting powder in it, stick the clone down it. I would stick rooting powder in the hole. Then I would also take my cut and I would roll it in the rooting powder and then stick it in the hole. And with that style, I've had 100% success. But I'll tell you this, it's, you know, usually clones take what, 7 to 10 days before you start seeing roots. For me, doing that style, it was more like 10 to 14 days before I started, but everything rooted. You know what I'm saying? So I do cut my leaves. I haven't tried not cutting them to see what type of success I would have to that, but I do cut my leaves. What I do now is I use water straight from my tap. I run my tap water through a water filtration system, and I just use straight water in the beginning. I will soak my rapid rooters or rock wool. I will soak them in a mixture that Mansfu had gave me. Mansfu hooked me up with how he does his, and it's been pretty successful for me. That mixture calls for actually using a Oh, I use a bloom. I got Tiger Bloom, and I use just a small drop of that because what I did find out that does enhance. It makes your plants want to grow more roots, and it does work. But I'm really interested in Green Motors, his what he has. I'm definitely interested in that, man, especially on the scale that that I'm wanting to do as far as cutting wise. I'm wanting to increase my cuts. I want to assist treetop genetics out, trichome chasers out. I want to, there's a lot of things I want to do. So I'm definitely going to look into getting those monsters from Green Motor. Definitely going to do that.
Yeah, man. Let me know.
So yeah. Oh, most definitely, man. I'll probably hit you up right after the show. I'll probably hit you up on Instagram right after the show.
Okay.
Hey, I want to throw one more thing
definitely
in there,
gonna do
Monster, or excuse me, Legal.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, it's very important that where you're taking clones from is a good source as well. So you want those mothers to be at peak health. If you do take clones from a plant that's doing all right or sickly, you're not going to have great success and probably carry over the problems that one's having. So it's very important to have a healthy, stable mom, even vigorous at the point you cut clones.
True, I agree with you on that. That's I think that's the number one key is to make sure that whatever you're taking cuts from, make sure that it's healthy, very healthy, very healthy. I agree with you on that, Captain. So I've gave my techniques. I see a lot of people in the chat. They're giving out the different techniques that they do. Pretty much, it seems like even though some of them are slightly different, pretty much everybody does their cloning pretty much the same. Seems like the only difference is what they use. What type of rooting gel, what type, if they use a humidity dome, their leaves. But other than that, it seems like everybody's pretty much doing the same. Yeah, I seen Meg Grower One's video for using this oxycloner. I've done that in oxycloner, and I didn't get 100%, but I did get 80. I got 80% on that, and it does work. His method, I did drop those down. So with a combination of this, is what I was trying to explain to the new growers, with a combination of taking what everybody, what a few people have done and found success, and coming up with my own. I come up with my own success. So Meg Grower does have a good method of it.
Oh, real quick, I forgot to tell you guys. I like to take my amethyst after I'm done taking my cuttings. I'll take my amethyst and I'll swing my crystals in a counterclockwise motion over my cuttings while
facing north, right?
Facing north.
Right. I wear my 8-pound crystal necklace when I'm doing mine.
Yeah,
man. I usually get in my Tarzan banana hammocks, and then I usually do my cloning in. Always make sure there's a quarter moon, with a grass skirt on and some flip flops.
TMI, brah. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but that's good though. I'm glad to hear it, everybody. So I asked Green Motor about what he considers to be a keeper. So I want to ask you guys the same. I want to ask you guys, as far as your process determining what cut out of the cuts that you take that you're going to keep. So Purple, if you want to go ahead and give an insight on what determines what you're going to keep after you cut. You want to give any insight on that?
Sure. Yeah, I like to keep only the phenotypes that are really susceptible to powdery mildew and pythium. Yeah, really susceptible to mites. Slow growing. I like to keep the really slow veggers. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, pretty much the opposite of that. Want a vigorous plant that's pretty resistant. Yeah, that's a big thing to me is how it grows in veg, if it's vigorous or not, because turnover time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think the biggest factor, of course, is the smoke, whether or not it tastes good, and I think that's a big thing. Is terpene profile as well as high. So that pretty much determines it for me. Is if trying out trying out your various phenotypes and whichever one has the most vigor as well as the best taste and yield. You want the best of all worlds, of course. Sometimes you can't have it, but yeah, I usually go for taste and yields. Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Doja, you want to give any insight on what you consider to be keepers, or how you select the keepers?
How I select mine is, I'm already, pretty overgrown where mine is, so I don't like to waste space on like new genetics. So I usually start the seeds off, and then I put them in. I grow them in cocoa. All my testers I do in cocoa because I just don't want to waste the rock wool, on shit I don't know about. And so then I'll run them. I'll put all my phenols, like say we're doing a 10 pack or whatever, 12 seeds. I'll put them all in there, select the females that are left. I'll run all those. And then usually what I do is just go off of smell and crystal, not necessarily size. And, I should back up. So I put them in the cocoa pots, and I won't flower a plant until I can at least get 4 cuttings off it. So I'll usually top them and then top them again. And so I get 4 nice tops. I'll take those, make sure I got rooted clones before I put them in the flower so I can save the, genetics. And usually if I could take 4 cuts, at least 1 will root. And so then, usually it's high, usually they all root, but I'll for sure have 1. And then I put them in the flowering, and then I'll see, I'll just basically keep the ones that got the best crystal production and smell. And then I'll take the clones, and then I'll do them again. Just those, like say I get two of them that smell real good and are real crystally. Then I'll take those 2 clones. I'll kill everything else off because I don't have time, like Green Motor said, and then I'll run those 2 again in 1-gallon pots and just see how they end up producing. And then after that, I'll pick out the one that I think is best, and I'll throw that into production.
Okay. All right, that sounds good. Sounds real good. Sounds good, man. So, Captain, how you do your selection, brother? What steps do you take to determine what's a keeper and what's not?
I do mine a little bit different. I really look for effect as my first overall goal. I suffered some really active injuries when I was younger, pre-30s. I was a little bit out of control and doing a bunch of different sports. So I suffered from a lot of pain, and I've got a few good concussions. So I look for stuff that is creeper indica, because if I smoke those powerful sativas, I get anxiety, and I hate that shit. So I really like a creeper indica, so something that comes on real nice and slow, but kicks in, has that nice body effect where it takes away all the pain. So I lean towards the heavy indicas, and past that I look for quality. So you got your flavors, your yield. Plus I also have a small growing environment, so I also look for structure. So let's say I do get a new clone in. What I like to do is top it multiple times, grow it as a bush first, and see if it's viable to do a 1 plant, or if I need 2 plants, if it's a single cola setup, or if it likes to thrive at 8 colas, 4 colas. So I like to give it that test to see how it provides the best yield and product. And usually with indicas, I'll get myself like right now I have Blue Dream Cross OG Kush. It's a very large plant, but I gave it multiple heads. I think it probably has close to 30. And so that kept the stretch. Yeah, but it kept the stretch down. So if I just had 4, 5, 6 leads and I had it in the same amount of soil, it probably would have hit the roof. Probably would have been 6 and some feet tall. But since I gave it that bush style, it only stretched about a little less than 1.5 feet. So for me, I like to have a plant that I can control, but is also vigorous. So that's most of what plays into the role. Plus, like as I grow more, I really am getting into the taste, and these heavy new terpenes are coming out. Like there's just a lot of genetics coming out right now that are just amazing on the taste and flavors. So I'm really getting into that. But first and foremost, I do look for an effect that's creeper and indica.
Okay. Okay. That sounds like very in depth in what you do. Because a question that the Menace had, and I'm gonna throw this out to the panel. He says, I got a question. What do you do with the clones when you're keeping a copy to see how it flowers? If I did that, by the time they are done flowering, my clones will be 4 feet easy. Anybody want to chime in?
Sure. Can I go first?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I personally, what I do is I'll take a group of clones, and let's say I need to keep them around for 3 months. So what I'm going to do is take that clone to the next step after it's rooted. So it's either a half gallon or 1 gallon. And then every single week, I'm going to top it. So if I'm limited in space, I can keep it in that 1 gallon for 3 months, as long as I continually top it and keep it a short plant so it's not overgrowing itself. So let's say you've got some sativa and it grows a foot a week. Well, you're going to want to cut that thing in half. Make sure you leave yourself enough nodes to where it can bush out and branch out. But you're going to have to do weekly maintenance and keep it short, tight. If you do not, it'll, of course, overgrow the pot and then become a problem. But you want to, it's a weekly maintenance if you're going to keep something that long and that small. Now, if you do have the space, of course, you want to have Big Mom because it gives you the best clones. But if you have limited space, then you want to keep them small by doing weekly maintenance.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Anybody else want to chime in?
Yeah, man. So when you're going through a pheno hunt, when you're cracking them, normally those plants, I don't keep them small. I roll the dice. That's stage 3. You're round 3. Essentially when I'm pheno hunting. So when I crack them, originally you pick 3 or 4, and then from that, those clones I treat them just like every other plant, and that's really where you're going to get the true characteristics that come out without having to risk too much. I'll just throw the plants in because obviously you've already sorted through the Hermes. You've already sorted through, what ones you didn't want, whether they were male or, like I said, hermaphrodite. And you get down to those final 3 or 4, and if you already took the clones from them, there's no point on, keeping them small. You might as well just grow them out and put them in if you're running perpetual. So like my main room, I run 72 plant flower, 36 perpetual. So when I go through and I crack seeds and I crack, 2 or 3 packs at a time, I'm accounting for those plants to be my next perpetual run, regardless if, it's not the one that I'm going to keep, but I'm still going to use it for the product. If that makes sense.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I understand what you're saying. I hope that answers your question, Dominus. Anybody else want to chime in?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear me. My shit's probably pretty fucked, but yeah, pretty much the same as what Motor was saying. I don't really do perpetual, but if I was, that's what I would do. I think that's a good point. By the time you have flowered, you've gone through to see what you've thrown away clones that were males or that were hermaphroditic, so you're kind of narrowing it down. So I just veg those up, and by the time things are done flowering, that'll give you an opportunity to see which 1 or 2 you're really going to keep, and then I'll just flower the other ones, the non-keeper phenos that I've grown out, and take cuts off of the keeper ones for the next round or whatever. So
right, because you got to think, like, if you take all these cuts and you keep them small, like one of the guys in the chat saying using less light or a smaller pot and multiple topping, you got to look at the time factor. Now, if you're the hobbyist level and you're just doing it to smoke, then obviously a little bit different. But when you have a high overhead, you got to run it like a business. So when you look at it at the time factor of getting rid of or keeping a plant short or keeping a plant small when you're allowing it to grow. When you find that keeper that you're going to have, you now have a plant that you can take 30 cuts off of, if that makes sense. Like you're going to have because of the fact you're not keeping it small, and that one you're keeping small might be the keeper.
Right. Yeah, totally. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to chime in on the less light setup too. I just put it back in chat, but those can lead to issues if you treat your plants, like if you don't have them full throttle and thriving, it can lead to issues. And if you drop your Brix levels, which is the sugar level in the plant, it'll be more susceptible to problems, mold, pests, and stuff like that. So I wouldn't suggest giving it less light. I would just suggest more maintenance to it.
Word.
Yeah, that's something we'll have to cover one of these days.
My bad. I had to mute my mic because Perp. So for some reason, whenever Perp's talking, if I mute it, he comes in. If I mute myself, whether I'm hosting or whether I'm on my own tag, he comes in clear as a bell. So I had to mute it. So sometimes it's hard coming back from the mute. But I do similar to same. I do both really actually. I'm growing first class genetics right now, and I really don't have the room for them to really like thrive and get as big as they should be right now. So what I do is I only use one 300 Mars LED light in that tent with those. I think I got like 18 or 20 of them in the 3x3 with them. I'm not ready for I don't have the room to really like grow them out in the other tents until, well, actually here in about a week, I'll be able to move those into a bigger tent. But what I do is just that one Mars 300 light. We all know when you got, even if they're, I don't care if they're over a foot tall, but with that light, with less light, it does slow them down. But what I do know is just what you said, Captain. It will create problems. I feed them regular strength nukes, but they just have the one Mars. But what I did do is I upped my IPMs on them more than the rest of my plants get sprayed, because I do know by slow growing them, it could cause those pest issues. And trust me, I don't want to go through that shit again. So I do take care of that. Plus, I foliar feed them more than I water them, than I top feed them. You know what I'm saying? And it seems to be working. But right now, into another tent and get them. Because some of the crosses that he got in them with that French toast that he's got one with Thin Mints and his French toast cross. I think that's the LA crepes, and then the other one is the LA crepes, and then I got the French Connection, which is his Bubba Kush, 398 Bubba Kush crossed with his French toast. And I'm ready for those to go because I know I'm going to find me a killer. Yeah, bro, I know I am. I know I'm going to find some killer in that. So I'm ready for them to go into a bigger tent right now.
LA crepes, that sounds dope.
That Thin Mints and this French toast, bro, I can't. They smell already. That's why I know they're ready for me to go ahead, because they have an aroma to them already that's like, dude, it's like no other aroma that you can fucking smell, man. I'm like, wow. So I'm really ready for those to go into a bigger tent. So they're going to get more lights. They're going to be spaced out a little bit more so they can breathe a little bit better. So that's what I had to do so that I can time manage my garden, because I got ahead of myself. So now I had to go back and pretty much micromanage my garden to cut down on the growth speed of it. But now I'm ready, though. Now I'm ready for that shit to just take off. But let me see if there's any other questions in the chat real quick.
Can I do a quick shout out for an IPM?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, Dr. Zymes. I found it a few years back. They're out of Northern California. It's a blend of 4 enzymes. You can spray it up to harvest. I mean, I wouldn't suggest doing that, but it is truly effective and will add vigor to your plant, and it demolishes any kind of pest or mold. Literally eat it alive off your plant. So really good product called Dr. Zymes out of Northern California. Check them out.
I'm definitely going to check them out. Also, while we're doing shout outs for IPMs, mites and mildew. Everybody knows Kind Buffalo loves off of Instagram. Other than method 1, mice and mildew has kept my garden green, flush, pest free. I mean, gnats. When I first started, I had a little bit of gnat issue when I started in late summer, going into fall. The gnats, they weren't bad, but it was bad enough where they were irritating the shit out of me. So once I did a soil drench with mites and mildew, man, it literally cut them. I mean, completely out. I've off of both of those. So mites and mildew, man. Look those guys up on Instagram. Get you a free sample. Try them out. Try the people that the captain told you about. I'm telling you, take it from a person that had some bad experience with pests. Stay on your IPMs, especially when you're cloning or when you're getting cuts from other people. I mean, there's shit that's just being passed on and passed on. I'm a firm believer that shit's just being passed on. And stay on your IPMs. Everybody,
Yeah.
stay on your IPMs.
And wear a condom.
Yeah, right. Right.
Make sure you spray it with your IPM.
Hey, I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to our moderators in the chat right now. I was holding it down because I see my girl. She had to boot somebody who came in with some adult sex thing. Yeah, we ain't about all that. So shout out to my girl, West Michigan girl. She holding it down in the chat. Shout out to my man, Palm Side Extracts. Shout out to him. My man, Captain Kind Bud, he holding it down in the chat, even though he on the panel with us. Yeah, I just want to, I appreciate you guys, holding it down for us in the chat, keeping the chat civil, and keeping people that, come in and don't need to be in. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I just want to make people feel welcome here,
Yeah, exactly. So like I said, shout out to them. Shout out to my people out there in the chat holding it down for us. Hey, shit. Green Motor, you want to go ahead and show what that looks like?
Show what looks like.
Your the pucks, not the pucks, but the
monster
pucks.
Give me one second.
Yeah, man. So let me see. Cheers, everybody. Let's all hit one real quick. Cause hey, guess what? Your man Buffalo, he been hired in a kite for like the last 2 weeks. Woo! So yeah, let's burn one real quick. Let's burn one.
Yeah, let's hear what everybody's puffing on. How about that? What do you guys got going out there?
Let's do it in the chat and on the panel. Okay, real quick while everybody's getting ready to show what they smoke puffing on. All right, so go ahead. That's the monster clone, right?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, man, I'm gonna have to get some of them from you, man. I need to do a big run of clones, man.
Yeah,
I got some people that want some. I got some.
See how deep they are.
Yeah, man. That's what's that, 3 inches?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, expect a DM coming from me too, bro.
That's what's.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah, man. I need that. Man. And shout out to my man Motor, man, for chilling with the Trichome chasers, man. We appreciate it, man. We appreciate you coming on, giving a rundown of what you do, how you do, sharing your garden with us, sharing the knowledge, man. There's one thing, man, before too long, man. I'm gonna have me a house up there before too long, bro. So we should get the chance to meet each other.
Okay. What part are you coming to?
Yeah. I'm thinking Mount Morris right now. That's what I'm thinking. Mount Morris. I'm even thinking of Jackson too. I've heard about Jackson. I heard about Lansing. Grand Rapids looks pretty nice, but there's some smaller communities, very rural communities.
Where are you from?
Between Grand Rapids. Me personally, I really don't want to tell you where I'm from, but
okay.
but me personally though, coming from Grand Rapids to going to Flint, I found some very nice rural areas.
Yeah.
That I was like, man, that would be ideal. Country setting, no neighbors, nothing, just do my own thing and be good. But I have looked at Mount Morris though. I have looked at that, and I'm looking at Jackson right now as well.
Cool. Yeah, we'll definitely have to link up then.
Yeah, so that's right. The American one. What's going on with you, the American one? So what everybody smoking on? What we smoking on? I seen you with something, Motor Green. Motor, what you got, man? What you puffing on?
That was that Garlic Breath 27. Say
27. Yeah, I got that Garlic Breath too, bro.
It's a Mendo Breath dominant pheno. Reeks of GMO, tastes like GMO. Super fire.
Oh yeah.
I'm smoking on that sunset
All right,
sherbet
so
crossed with some peanut butter breath.
Ooh, that's that THC Titan right there, ain't it?
Yeah, frozen mandarin. It's bomb, dude.
Ooh, I heard that was some good shit. I think Monster had some of that. Yeah, man, that was some good shit.
Yeah, next batch of roast, though, we'll take care of everybody.
But I ain't gonna lie, I'm smoking on this deadhead that I got from my man Perp. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, buddy. And then I got some 813 Genetics. You guys can look him up on Instagram. Cool ass brother, man. He hooked me up with this shit he called Sour Nation. Now, Sour Nation is Sour Diesel times Sour Diesel. Oh. And I'm gonna tell you right now, that shit is, oh my god, dude, the flavor.
Oh,
the flavor of the smoke is, oh my god, it's so good. I'm telling you, man, it's good. Oh yeah, man, I can hook you. Matter of fact, I'm taking cuts of her. I'll be taking cuts of her next week, man. Definitely be taking cuts of her next week. I got one cut going to Loki. I was going to get one cut from, no, I got a Sour Kim cut going to Loki. But I'm going to definitely try to get him some of them, that Sour Nation, man. It is tasted, man. And when I first hit it, I'm like, oh my God, I was in heaven. For those of you who that, man, check out your boy 813 Genetics, man. He got the man is always doing something, man. He's always doing something. Coolest ass cat I've ever come across, man.
That's what's up.
So let's see what we in the chat. So who's else still in here right now? So North Side, what you smoking on, man? You smoking tonight?
Yeah. I'm smoking on Doctor Who from Homegrown Natural Remedies.
Doctor Who.
Yep.
That's what's up.
It's pretty good. The cut that I got it from a buddy. I didn't pheno search it or anything. The cut I got, he did though, and the cut I got, it's pretty good. It's a smaller yielder plant, but it's real purple and it's real frosty. And I don't know how to describe the taste. It's kind of weird. It's hard to put my finger on, really.
I feel you.
But yeah, I don't know. It's not like fruity. It's almost like a little diesel-y kind of, I don't know, like almost like a oil or metal like kind of like taste, or that's how how like a oil smells, like a car oil, kind of motor oil, I guess. It kind of tastes like that. It's pretty good though. I like it.
That's straight up unique.
Yeah, it's weird, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on mute. Up, my man. I might be coughing my brains out.
I know that's right, because I'm about to damn sure hit mine. Who wants some of that? I see D Menace wanted some of that Sour Nation. Hey, bro, hit me up on Instagram, bro. I might be able to work something out with you, man. Hit me up on my Instagram, man.
And what's Perp smoking on? Hey, Perps, what you smoking on, bro?
Some crack. No, I'm just kidding.
What do I know, bro?
Oh, the terms on
that. Very chemically, No. It's I'm smoking this sour cookies. It's actually a cross between the sour diesel and headband cookies.
Oh.
So that's the flower I'm smoking, and then I'm smoking a little bit of the CBD crystal with some added terps. Every now and again, taking a dab of that. So.
Right.
Yeah, definitely interested in the sours, bro. Fucking, I got this local cut of diesel around here, and I just got this. I never even heard of a West Coast sour D, but I got some with this West Coast sour D from the cup, and so yeah, I would definitely want to play around with some of those diesels. But yeah, you might have to send your boy some of that Sour Nation too. Might have to.
Oh, you know I'm gonna hook you up, man. You know I'm gonna hook you up. You know I got you, man.
Might have to do a smash up 3-way pump.
I'm waiting for this. I got another one in flower right now. I got about 2 more weeks on it. I got one that I cut down that I need to put in jars when I get back home, and but the other one, my son was telling me, sent me pictures of it. It's got about 2 more weeks in it. It's just slightly now turning amber, just slightly, pretty much more, still more, clear than it is amber right now. So I figure I got about another week or 2, but definitely, bro, I got you, man.
Hey, Buffalo, you want me to read off what the chat's smoking on?
Yeah, read that off to me, brother.
We got Mr. J Rock doing the White Widow. We got Cannabis Hypocrisy. He's doing the Chocolate Heaven. T-Man's got the Blue Dream. What else we got here? We got Luigi's puffing that G13. Who else we got? We got CW Farms doing some Alien Rift. The American ones got some Cheesequake. I'll be honest with you, I never tried it. I heard good things though.
Me too.
And Jason said, "Where's my Sour Nation?"
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna have to. Hey, hit me up on Instagram, man. Hit me up on Instagram.
Con Buffalo Instagram people.
We'll work something out.
Yeah, and then.
But let me see. Somebody else asked. He said he's doing what?
Oh, Grow Room Designs LLC said Cheese X.
Cheese Exodus. Okay. I heard of that. Matter of fact, Ninja OG did a cross with no. Gunner did it with Ninja's Cheese Exodus. He did one. It's cheese something. I forget what it is, but it's supposed to be pretty good. So yeah, man. Real quick, Grow Room Design wanted to know. I think he asked a question. The initiation for what, brother?
We gotta jump them in.
American? Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah, we gotta jump them in.
Yeah,
we're gonna give you an address and an alley.
Yeah, we gotta come see you real quick. Hey, matter of fact, we'll send Plant Builder.
Yeah, we're gonna jump you in.
We'll send Plant Builder out there to him.
He's just gotta hang out with Purple and smoke some crackies in.
Yeah. I know that's right.
There's that too.
I know that's right. Yeah, no. Don't hit me up on Trichome Chaser TV, bro. You got to hit me up on Kind Buffalo on Instagram, bro. The Menace. Yeah. Kind Buffalo. I'm just hosting under Trichome Chaser TV, but Instagram, I'm Kind Buffalo, bro.
Want me to drop it in chat real quick, bro?
Yeah, that'd be pretty. I appreciate it. Thanks. Bloom Organic Newts. Nah, bro, I don't have no Bloom Organic Newts, man. Don't test none of that for you. All right, CW Farms, man. Thanks for coming through again. Appreciate it. But yeah, man, I feel we covered everything we wanted to cover on the clonings. It looks like I feel very comfortable that we gave the people it's a 0. It's a 0 instead of an O. But yeah, make sure at the end, Kind Buffalo. If you look me up on Instagram, it's Kind Buffalo with a 0, not an O.
Oh, my bad.
There we go. No, you good.
Okay.
But yeah, I think we covered. Everything that we wanted to cover as far as cloning techniques. The show is open up to anybody or anybody. If there's anything else you guys wanted to talk about, we can talk about cannabis news, community news. We can talk about whatever you guys want to. Any questions on something else? Matter of fact, how about we throw this out to the chat right now? Go ahead and if you guys have any suggestions of what you'd like to see, coming up next week, the week after, throw it in the chat right now. Something that you want us to do a little research on, or I think we've got enough people on the panel that has experience in just about any question that you're going to ask. And if we don't, we could get that information for you. So if you guys got anything you guys would like to see us talk about on the next show, throw it in the chat, and we'll talk
And then
about
also, when the show ends, you can go down and leave a comment, and that'd really help out because we can check that as well.
I'm down with bro.
it. Yes.
Good topic, bro.
Was hey, no. See, my girl, she about to get mad about that one. She ain't gonna like that one. She might even delete that message. So, she real funny about that shit right there. So, but
So, can we do our
So,
shout
yeah,
outs?
so-
Are we gonna roll out Buffalo or what?
well, we don't we don't necessarily have to roll out, but
All right.
you know what I'm saying? Hey, yeah, give out shout outs, man. Do your shout outs if you want, man. Do your
All right,
shout
cool.
outs.
Yeah, I mean, I want to, the first and foremost, OCG fam on Instagram and Oregon's Constant Gardener on YouTube. They hooked me up with some apparel this week. They are the nectar for the gods, people. It is a bottled nutrients of organics. If you are going to go with a bottled nutrient and you like organics, I would say it is probably the best on the market by far. Yes, it's multiple bottles, but you will get the best product. Also, I want to do a shout out to Seed Vaults of California. They've been hooking up. They've been still running their special on the Bodhi seeds, 2 packs for $107 delivered. You can find them at holisticnursery.com. Also at Seed Vaults of California on Instagram. And then shortly I'll be seeing some Treetop Genetics because I know everybody else has been getting that. So I also got involved. So I just want to say Treetop Genetics on Instagram. They have the latest and the greatest flavors, and I mean, it is amazing what they have. So go ahead and give them a check out. And thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah, man, and the list is only getting better. I'm gonna tell you right now, Treetop Genetics. Yo, it's Trichome Chaser based. We definitely support Treetop Genetics. I'm gonna tell you right now, if there's something that's not there, all you got to do is say, "Hey, man, can you give me this?" And I'm telling you, we will. The attempt to make it happen it'll be done. It'll be done. But I can't say no. I can't say anything bad about Treetop Genetics. Man, you can go back and look at some of the pictures of the clones I got from Treetop Genetics. Man, I got tree trunks as clones. Trunks, man. I'm telling you.
And Doja
good
got like the whole
right
damn
there.
list.
Yeah. So yeah, shout out to Treetop Genetics. I got to give a shout out to my second fam, Canada Genetics. I got to give out the team Canada Genetics, Baby J, Gunner 420s, 420 Grow Show, Scroggin Farm, 420 PGH, Cannabis Assassin. I got to give a shout out to them, man. I hope you guys were able to check out that Creamsicle OG drop that just hit last night. I'm pretty sure there's some packs left, but if it isn't, man, you missed out. But yeah, man, hey, you guys stick with the Trichome Chasers, man. I'm telling you, we got some great things coming down the works, man. We got some little breeding going on. We're trying to do. We got some, we got the clones. I'm telling you, man, you guys stick with us, man. We put our foothold in this community.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of avenues opening up in 2018. That's for sure.
Right, So yeah, man, I would just like to say thank you to everybody that's still here, all 37 of them that's still watching. Thank you for hanging out with us. We're working on getting our show better for you guys, better for us. We'd like to see 100 or so people at one time. Any suggestions without being too overcritical, because we can take constructive criticism. But if we find out that you're just being a dick, you're gonna get what you get. So, but if there's anything that you would like to see us do to improve our show, to help us get more information out there, hey, go ahead and leave a comment or hit one of us up on Instagram. Hey, we got love for everybody. Also, check out trichomechaser.tv. That's our website. Sign up for the website, man. Sign up for the forums, Start your own grow log on that forum, Hit us all up. Drop questions, We're really going to be doing some things, man. We're really trying to make, this community what we feel this community should be about. Because as you all know, there's a lot of bullshit in this community that shouldn't be. But we really trying to keep ourselves up on a higher level, and we're trying to make it so that we want people to learn from us and for us to learn from you. As Monster said when he first started the Trichome Chaser, Trichome Chasers, man. It's for us. It's for all of us. So I just wanted to get that out there real quick. So if anybody else got anything they want to say, hey, go ahead and spit it out.
Yeah, and you can go over there and join up, share your pictures, share some knowledge or things that you've gone through. And, people can take a peek at it and, we'll all learn from each other. But, yeah, there's going to be, stuff being inputted as the year goes on from everybody on the group. So, feel free to check it out. And, lots of nice pics of what's going down.
I have a shout out.
All right. Real quick, Bert, before you do that, Bert, hey, Captain, can you drop the website into the chat for the people, please?
You got it.
All right, go ahead, Bert.
Shout out to Palmside Extracts.
Yeah, the homie right there. That's the homie.
Yeah, shout out to Palmside, Photon Phenom Designs, Tricky D, the 420 Resistance. Yeah, all the homies, Treetop Genetics. Just follow everyone on Trichome Chasers. Sorry, my mic's fucked. I'm working on it.
Oh, let me mute that shit. Hold on, I gotta mute myself. Hold on, Bert. Come in once I mute myself, dude. This is hilarious, man. I'll be laughing at this shit. Hold on.
Yeah, it's just this noise cancellation. But, yeah, shout out to Palmside, Tricky D, Photon Phenom Designs. Go check out Photon Phenom Designs. Get yourself some dope PCBs and other gear. But yeah, shout out to Treetop Genetics and the Trichome Chasers, all the Familia, fucking Hands in Dirt, THC Wavy, DC Pharma, Joshua Steensland, who the fuck else? High Guy, the Shy Guy. I don't know where that dude's been at, but shout out to High Guy, Monster OG, Triple OG. Yeah, fuck, bro, my bad. DWC Kush. Shout out to DWC Kush.
Yes,
Much love,
yes.
everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Also,
for
whether
sure-
you guys know it or not, man, shout out to Man's Food.
Yeah,
He
man.
don't be on with us because that brother works. He works, man. He works more than I work. But whenever he gets a chance to chime in, he chimes in. That's a Trichome Chaser. Shout out to Owls and Smoke. She's a Trichome Chaser. And she doing her thing over there. You know what I'm saying? If you follow her on Instagram and YouTube, you see her garden. I'm going to tell you, that girl is growing her ass off. And she even started her own little breeding project. Owls and Smoke. Them the Trichome Chaser family right there, man.
Yeah, I want to do a double shout out for Hans. He recently just got in an accident and heal up, and we're thinking about you, bro.
No doubt. Shout out to Hans, man. Missed that brother. I hadn't talked to him in a while. I need to hit him up. Shout out to Hans, man. Anybody got else anything? Like I said, I want to thank Green Motor. Hopefully this isn't your last time on with us, man.
No,
Hopefully
man.
you can even help us with some topics coming up, brother. We appreciate you.
For sure, man. I appreciate being here.
Yep, and I'm going to give a big shout out to the chat. I know Perp and everybody else did, but I'm going to give a big shout out to the chat, man. I really appreciate you 40 that's in here right now. I really do. I mean, I can't express it no more than I do. Some of you guys and girls, you guys show up every time, man. Every time you're here with us. Soy Biata, that's my man. That's my homie. I ain't never met him, but I feel like I know him. You know what I'm saying? So shout out, man. Shout out to the chat. Thank you for being here tonight with us.
Yeah, shout out Blunt Thumb. Shout out Plant Builder.
Oh yeah, can't forget Plant Builder. Yo, Plant Builder. I still got to meet you in that McDonald's parking lot, bro.
The man's got jokes. I hope you got size, bro.
Yeah, I will meet Plant Builder in that. I got to meet him in that McDonald's parking lot.
Yeah, but Blunt, if you're listening or will listen, it'd be nice you come back. Your advice is always well needed.
Yep. Same to you, Palmside. Same to you, man. Hey, Palmside sent me a video, real quick video. The one show that I hosted, and his dog, when she heard my voice, oh my God, dude, she was like perked up to the TV, and I was like, Lord have mercy. It put a big smile on my face. I was in a bad way that day. So I appreciate that, Palmside, man. Appreciate you, brother. Hey, no problem, brother. No problem, man. Like I said, hey, you guys, like, you know, if you guys want to know something, man, because you know, I know everybody in the community is not so forthcoming with information, secrets, and things like that. Trichome chasers, we ain't like that, man. You guys can hit us up anytime. DM me, DM the crew on Instagram, drop messages on our website, YouTube, or however you can find, you can get in touch with us. Ask us, man. And if we don't know, we'll find some way to get you the answer. Finally get you some way to answer. So that's how we do, man. Like I said, we're gonna make a change in this community. We're gonna make a change. We're gonna make it like it's supposed to be. You know, we're gonna make it like it's supposed to be.
All right. Well, thanks for having me, man. I got to bounce, but hey, this has been a good show. Chat. Thanks for being here, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Yes, sir. And I think that concludes our show for tonight with Captain leaving. Who blame Captain for it now? But yeah, that does conclude our show. Again, thanks everybody for being with us. Tune in next week. We'll try to get the show posted earlier on all our social media sites so that we can get the information advertised out there for everybody. But once again, this is the Trichome Chaser, episode 52. Your Mankind Buffalo, my man Perk, my man Northside Doja. Hey, and to the chat, appreciate you. We out.
Have a good night.